Let's set the scene. Picture a massive, pitch-black arena. The lights slowly start to rise, and then you hear it. The slow, heavy echo of those iconic piano chords. Suddenly, you're looking at tens of thousands of people, all singing along in absolute perfect unison. And right there, at the center of it all, is Chester Bennington. He's literally pouring every single ounce of his soul into that microphone. Millions of us knew him as the defining voice of Linkin Park. Honestly, for an entire generation, his voice was the lifeline that helped so many survive their darkest moments. It was raw, it was incredibly real. But, as we're going to uncover in this explainer today, behind all that incredible power on stage, there was a profoundly different reality going on behind closed doors. It brings us to this heartbreaking question. His voice saved millions, but who was saving him? You see, the world saw a rock god absolutely commanding stadiums, but hidden far away from that blinding spotlight was a quiet, relentless struggle. He had this immense, undeniable power on stage, but it was masking a profound, unseen, private battle that very few people truly understood. It's almost like a split screen. On one side, you have the global rock icon, beloved by millions, armed with walls of platinum records, standing as this massive pillar of strength for fans all over the world. But then, on the other side, you have the private battle, an inner emotional turmoil that the cameras rarely, if ever, caught. The lenses, they captured the energy, the explosive success, but they completely missed the silence that followed when the shows ended. To really understand Chester, we have to look at how these two completely different worlds existed inside of just one man. Chapter 1. The man behind the voice. The origins of the emotion. You know, it's really important to realize that his pain wasn't just a product of fame. It was actually a precursor to it. Long before that incredible global explosion of success, Chester was already carrying immense struggles. His early childhood was marked by intense personal difficulties. Those formative years etched deep, deep emotional scars that he would eventually pour directly into his art. So when Linkin Park formed, those exact personal struggles literally became the foundation of his lyrics. The pain didn't just magically vanish when he became a global icon. Instead, it translated. It became that raw, unfiltered authenticity that ended up resonating with fans across the entire globe. His music made millions feel understood, but the world never fully saw the pain behind the microphone. So why did fans feel such a visceral, immediate connection to him? It's simple, really. Because it was 100% genuine. He wasn't just acting up there. When Chester screamed about feeling lost or numb or completely overwhelmed, he meant it. By bleeding his own truth into that microphone, he made millions of us feel just a little bit less alone in our own struggles, even while he was fiercely fighting his own. Chapter 2. The pressure behind fame. The weight of the spotlight. The reality of touring at that level is just a massive study in extremes. Think about it. On stage, it's an explosion of light. You've got these massive concerts, intense media attention, thousands of screaming fans reflecting absolute love right back at him. But behind the scenes, the reality is vastly, vastly different. You're dealing with the sobering silence of empty hotel rooms. Deep, profound loneliness. Just sheer physical and emotional exhaustion. Bearing your soul to the world, night after night after night, extracts a monumental toll on a person. The roaring crowds are amazing, sure, but they're temporary. And the quiet that follows, that can be absolutely deafening. Millions of people saw the success, but very few actually saw the pressure. The reality of that level of fame is incredibly isolating. When you become the voice for everyone else's pain, the expectation to constantly deliver that heavy emotion is absolutely suffocating. The world saw the platinum plaques, they saw the sold-out tours, but the immense exhaustion of having to be Chester Bennington every single day, that was a crushing burden carried strictly in the shadows. Chapter 3. The rumors after his death. Fact versus speculation. It begs the question, why do we search for conspiracies in tragedy? Whenever something devastating and sudden happens, human psychology desperately craves order. We want a hidden explanation, right? Because the simple, heartbreaking reality of severe depression is often just way too heavy for us to process. In this explainer, we absolutely have to acknowledge the intense noise that followed his passing, but we're going to do so with a protective and solemn respect for the actual truth. Almost immediately after the news broke, the internet just flooded. We saw sensationalized newspaper headlines. We saw complex, completely unfounded social media theories taking flight. There were rampant rumors drawing speculative connections to the tragic passing of his close friend Chris Cornell. But underneath all that chaotic noise, it was really just fans, grieving fans, desperately searching for answers in the dark. We have to acknowledge that this noise existed just so we can understand why people search so frantically for some other explanation.
But here is the bottom line. Rumors are not facts. Presenting them as such is dangerous, and quite frankly, it is profoundly disrespectful to his memory. The truth is often much simpler and a whole lot sadder than the internet wants it to be. Searching for hidden, sensationalized explanations does not change the painful reality of what happened. And worse than that, it actually distracts from the vital, life-saving conversations we absolutely should be having about mental health.
Chapter 4. The People Left Behind. A Devastating Loss.
The impact of his passing rippled outward in a massive way. First and foremost, of course, was his family. Then his band members, his brothers in arms who walked this entire crazy journey with him right from the very beginning. And finally, the millions of fans worldwide. In the days and years that followed, the world witnessed this unbelievable outpouring of emotion. We saw beautiful concert memories being shared and incredibly heartfelt tributes. But the proximity to the pain varied wildly depending on where you stood. For those in his inner circle, it was a much, much deeper loss. Yes, the world lost a rock icon, and a generation lost its defining voice. But the people closest to him, they lost a husband, a father, a best friend. Behind the massive legacy of the musician was a real human being. His absence left an intimately painful, irreplaceable void in the lives of the people who loved him the most. Chapter 5. The Voice That Remains. An Enduring Legacy. But here's the beautiful thing. Chester's voice still resonates. Even today, if you attend a tribute show or simply drop a needle on a Linkin Park record, the magic instantly returns. You still have fans singing together in the dark. The physical man may be gone, but his memory and the immense legacy of his band are kept fiercely alive through the music itself. His voice continues to be a sanctuary for people who are hurting. It's a true testament that genuine art always outlives the artist.
Maybe the biggest mystery was never what happened in his final days. You know, we spend so much time looking at the tragedy. We analyze the darkness, trying to make sense of it all. But what if we just shift our focus for a second? What if, instead, we look at the absolute miracle of his impact?
Why could one single voice make millions of people feel so much less alone? How does a man take his own deepest, darkest pain, sing it out loud, and somehow heal the hearts of strangers across the entire globe? Honestly, that is the true mystery. That is the true magic of Chester Bennington. He was the voice behind the pain. And that voice, it's going to echo forever. Thank you so much for experiencing this explainer with me.